Well, the loco from NOCO, Kim Jong-un, keeps killing our fun, putting missiles on mobile launchers and shooting guns like a bite-sized bandit. But ask your average Yankee about it and he'll shrug. Our understanding of evil has been replaced by ambivalence. In a world inundated by disposable fame, the fat prince is just a homelier version of a Kardashian, with nukes and a bad fade. On the list of perceived evil, plastic bags are now way more harmful than a mad dictator, as is fracking and words like illegal. Thank God the AP took a stand on that. They're so brave. And so we've lost the ability to prioritize evil to a point where evangelicals are as bad as Hamas. During an Army Reserve training brief on extremism, evangelical Christianity and Catholicism were listed as examples of extremism next to Al-Qaeda. Must be all those hymns. Yep, today evil is relative, and it becomes hurtful if you apply it to anything outside of America, or even within our own prison system. This is why Sean Penn sobbed over Hugo Chavez, Bobby Redford lionized the Weather Underground, Jada Pinkett glorifies Angela Davis, and Jay-Z and Beyonce frolic to Cuba. Evil is in the eye of the beholder, and when the beholder is rich and intellectually vapid, who knows what thug they'll hug. Perhaps the AP should ban the word evil, too. We could call it approximate good, that we can all be bad without the baggage.
Bags fly free.
They do fly free. Good on you. Why, Eric, why do we laugh at North Korea but somehow are scared of Iran? What's going on?
There's so much going on right now. We're not really laughing at North Korea. We're actually sending them money.
Yeah.
We've sent them billions of dollars. North Korea, not South Korea.
Right.
North Korea, billions of dollars in aid. Meanwhile, this is what we get. We get a big screw you, America. By the way, enough. It's time to stop. Stop sending them money and tell Kim Jong-un, stand down, KJ, or else. And I mean or else. I mean, really, it's time. China should be doing it. They're not.
Yeah.
Iran is watching how we react. They've seen President Obama basically roll over, bowing to Saudi leaders, bowing down to people. It's time to take a stand and tell this guy, cut the crap. Now.
Well, okay.
What, Eric? Bob?
Bob.
Yes.
Eric,
Bob's in the suspenders. Eric's in the open collar.
Let me just say a couple of things. One is the United States has moved a naval force closer to North Korea, and we're also putting up the missile defense system in Guam. But the Chinese are kind of interesting. The Chinese, without saying it directly, came down on the North Koreans.
Yeah.
And that's been the one thing China has always been afraid of is a unified Korea, because that would be right on their border, right? So they've always supported North Korea. But this time around, I think they've gone too far. And the other thing I'd say is that North Korea decided to pull out of their only joint business venture with South Korea and took 51,000 people. Can you imagine that? 51,000 people who have jobs and are making a living, and people are starving, and they got them all out of that business.
Where's the word from the White House? Where is the, hey, Kim Jong, stop, back off, pull that missile off your coast,
They
or
don't
else?
do that.
Well,
why not?
Because they lead from behind.
Right.
Looking around,
How's that working out?
North Korea.
How's that working
Or else what?
Poorly.
Or else we'll get rid of that missile for you. They can't even turn the lights on, Bob.
You know what I think, though, is like, isn't there some kind of pattern, what's her name again? Dana. Where we just allow them to, they allow North Korea to throw a tantrum, perhaps kill some people, and then we just move on.
So for decades, we had stability
Yeah.
with the father, and everybody was okay with the stability. We've seen this in a lot of other different places. The American foreign policy for a lot of places around the world has been, as long as the dictator is stable, then we're fine. The problem is now this dictator is not stable. I have a feeling there's just a ton going on behind the scenes. The worst thing that China could imagine is a humanitarian crisis on their border.
Yeah.
The hunger crisis, that could cause even bigger problems. And so I think there's a lot going on. However, I also think that because you're dealing with somebody that you don't know, you know when two guys get in a fight, or like they're play fighting, but it gets to a point where they start really coming to blows?
Yeah,
yes.
they wrestle.
I think that is what everyone is trying to avoid.
Yeah.
KG?
I just want to talk about China for a second if you want to make me happy, if you're into that kind of thing.
All right, I'll make you happy. I wanted to talk to you about Jay-Z, Beyonce.
I'm going to do that too, but real briefly here. China is also very concerned about it. So the fact that they're getting involved in it, issuing public statements, they're refraining from mentioning North Korea by name, but there's some direct quotes from the Chinese president saying that while pursuing its own interests, the country should accommodate the legitimate interests of others. And the foreign ministry also issued a statement saying it was seriously concerned about the continuously escalating tensions. They know it's a problem. It's a problem for them as well. So I think it's not only the U.S., but China should step in as well, and so should Japan.
China should say, look, we send you tens of billions of dollars. We're going to scale back on that unless you unless you cut the crap.
Yeah,
Because
well,
the worst,
nobody's giving him a
worse than that-
timeout.
right.
Worse than that is
Greg's-
them actually shooting that
Sorry,
missile off
Greg's
of South
trying
Korea
really hard to get
or Japan.
Beyonce into this thing.
am.
One last thing.
I promise
I'm not so sure he's in charge. I'm not so sure the generals are not. Okay, I'll let him move on. Sorry.
Well, you know what, Bob? Let me go to you. Why would Beyonce and Jay-Z go to Cuba, who are notoriously racist towards blacks?
That's a ultimate question. Also, I'm sort of curious what the answer is going to be from the Treasury Department, who issues these visas to allow people to go to Cuba. Why? I mean, what's the rationale for it? A lot of people have been to Cuba, but they've given it for some reason or another, either humanitarian or they're doing a movie or doing something else. In this case, it's pure tourism, and I don't in a racist country. I don't get it.
Cultural, like they got a cultural visa.
Yeah,
whatever
but I mean,
license.
Publicity
They're given a
stunt
license,
so they could get a ton of money, so they could get people to go to their websites and download their new songs. The people that work there in Cuba, when Jay-Z and Beyonce pay in dollars, the workers are then paid in pesos, worthless pesos.
Yeah.
I am shocked. I would like to find out from the Treasury Department too, and also want to know whose idea was this initially.
Yeah.
Did anyone in the administration think that this would be a good idea?
Well, do you think they thought it up themselves? I mean, I don't know. I can't
This
figure
is, hello, does anyone care if this is against the law? I mean, am I the only one at the table cares about the law right now?
Well,
I
you
mean, I
can
like
get a
her
visa,
hair,
which
her
they
updo.
did.
Well, they got a license,
But the problem
a cultural
is,
license.
what kind of license? Who issued it? What's behind it? I mean,
Treasury
they
Department.
get special treatment because they're celebrities, and now they've decided Cuba is cool, and they're disregarding.
But remember in South Africa, I mean, there was a cultural blackout.
Right.
Like, nobody would go to South Africa until they changed their policies. But in Cuba, that is not the case. They romanticize it.
President Obama has clearly said he wants to reopen diplomatic ties in travel and transactions.
So are Democrats and
Cuba.
Republican presidents have said that.
When
too,
you
in
sing for
fairness.
the president, you get a visa to Cuba.
Before we
Cultural
go, can I just pop up this picture of Jay-Z we have? Should somebody
Pop
there you go.
up.
There you go. Should somebody tell Jay-Z how Che feels about black people? Should somebody contact him and tell him the words that Che has used about black people? Somebody should.
And
I should tell him how to lose weight.
How many black Cubans the Castro regime has imprisoned for literally tens of years, decades?
Terrible.
And one more question. That shirt,
Yes?
where'd you get it?
I can't remember, but I like it.
In a French bistro cafe.
Well, like,
I spent some time in a French prison.
You're missing,
No, it
you're
kinda
missing the
looks-
little hat.
But it
Beret and the
looks
French
like
bread. And my little
jailhouse-
bicycle with the basket.
No, looks
Yes.
like jailhouse fetish material. I'm not into
Go
it.
to my website, jailhousefetishmaterial.org. Okay.
There's a bunch of... never mind.
Oh, Bob.